Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Hello, and happy Wednesday to you. So very serious.
That?
I don't know, there was like something floating in the air. Michelle, Chandler, Lou, how are we feeling today, bud? How was your day?
Light as a feather.
Ah, good for you. We got a lot of basketball to talk about.
Missed you, Lou. Got a nice haircut, too. My haircut looks good. Thanks for asking.
I lost like $5 to myself. I thought for sure Steph Curry was going to take off against the Raptors.
I think we both bet that.
I know.
Yeah, I think
luckily we didn't bet anyone, so we're
for
good.
Sure.
But he
I missed one day, and we're betting on.
We're just betting all left and right. We're like, where's he going? Because he needed some time off. Steve Kerr told us how tired he was. Well, he took it off, but he took it off yesterday against Milwaukee, and P.S. didn't matter. Warriors still win this one with Jimmy Butler's help. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists. They are now 15-2 with Mr. Butler in the lineup. Pajemski, 17 points in place of Steph. On a second night of a back-to-back, when things in the West are still very much moving around, Chandler, and no Steph, how big was this one?
Yeah, this was huge, and this is just the impact of Jimmy Butler. And when you miss a Klay Thompson, when a Jordan Poole, who is an absolute bucket, can carry a team when a guy like Steph Curry's out, you need someone like Jimmy Butler who you can play through. You know how good he is defensively, but even last night, you know, he's taking advantage of mismatches. He's going down the block in the post, and everyone's kind of eating. If you look, you know, Post had 14, Pods had 17, Kuminga had 10, Hield had 15. It was a balanced, collective effort last night, but it all went through Jimmy Butler. And this is so important to where you can now allow Steph Curry to get this proper rest. And Jimmy Butler has, you know, fit in, obviously, you know, perfectly with Steph Curry, but he's still capable of being that guy on any given night when Steph is out.
Clearly. 15-2 with Butler in the lineup is
impressive.
Something.
Yeah, they're playing well. They're playing well with Jimmy, and they found an identity, right. I've watched this team play, and every time I see them play, like, I notice the defensive intensity that they have. I notice how they're throwing the ball to Jimmy in the post, or they're throwing it to him in ISO positions when he's 18 feet away from the basket, allowing him just to be aggressive, play some bully ball. And as soon as the team helped, you got Steph Curry flying off of a flare screen somewhere, and then Draymond is diving to the rim. That's going to be a tough cover for a lot of teams. So I started this statement by talking about defense, ended up on the offensive end, but that's what this Golden State Warriors team is. They've found an identity on both sides of the basketball, and it's worked for them since they've added Jimmy to this team.
Do you think that if they'd ended up getting KD and then not Butler, would this, I mean, I know it's impossible to say, but would it be similar, different?
Well, we're not going to pretend like they didn't get 2 championships the first time he played for Golden State. So, you know, obviously it'd be a different vibe. It'll be a different identity. What Jimmy Butler and what Kevin Durant brings to the table is two completely different things. But we've seen that movie already. They got 2 championships out of it. At 15-2, it looks like they're making a run to be just as aggressive and trying to go get another one with Jimmy Butler. So only time will tell with that.
Yeah, if we want to take a 17-game sample, then it probably wouldn't be as good. 15-2 is unbelievable. So again, they're 2 different players. They do bring 2 different things, but we're talking about Kevin Durant, who's already had success with the Warriors, who already had success with this exact same coach and system. So it's hard to compare the 2. But Jimmy, to me, just the maturity and everything he's went through in Miami and all that, it's almost just a memory now, right? Like that's almost just in the past. He's now winning. It's just like a chapter of his story that's so irrelevant now because now he's on a team that we were writing off before this trade that now sometimes people are putting in a contender conversation. So it's the addition of him has been huge.
They are the 6 seed, 3 back of the 5, which they wanted the 6. They got the 6 happened real quick too. That wasn't even a set long goal. Draymond Green had a very effective evening. So the Warriors held the entire Milwaukee team to 93 points, and Draymond's a big part of that. Giannis 0 for 6 from the field. Afterwards, he said he would still very much like to win Defensive Player of the Year, and that he has a case, Lou. Now, if you look at the betting odds, they don't agree, but does he have a case?
When we start having defensive conversations, I gotta go to the numbers. And as far as individual defensive rating, you got Jalen Williams at the top of that conversation. Then right after that, you got Jared Allen. You even got SGA and Sengun in that conversation. Now it's no secret what Draymond brings to the table on the defensive end. Like, he's the quarterback. He's going to be the most vocal. He's going to be the help guy. As you can see right here, like, he's not even guarding that guy, but he's always in help position. He takes chances. He takes risks knowing what that team needs on the defensive end. And so he's always going to be in that conversation, always going to be one of these guys that's highly touted for what he's done on the defensive end. But from a public standpoint, we haven't spoke about Draymond as much. You know, we're not gonna forget the fact that this team had their struggles. Now they are in a great run since coming back from that All-Star break and adding Jimmy Butler to this team, where Draymond can be more of his natural self. He can be the quarterback on defense, be the guy that's going to anchor them. But being the Defensive Player of the Year at this point, knowing what even Evan Mobley has brought to the table and all these different guys, it's probably not going to be his award.
Last minute campaign.
I think Draymond will always be in this conversation just because of the impact he has and the versatility he has to guard 1 through 5, and the amount of impact he has on that end with his vocal leadership, his communication, his taking of charges down on the floor. He is a great defensive player. Like we talk about MVP, the best defender doesn't always win Defensive Player of the Year. The best player doesn't also necessarily win the MVP. So I think he's always in that talk, and I think the Warriors are the 8th best defense right now. Does that matter? They're a lot better since Jimmy Butler, and obviously it's a small sample size of the 17 games or whatever, but he is one of the most elite defenders in the league, and he should always be in that talk. He's going to always be in the first or second team all defense, but I just don't know if when you're the 8th best defense in the league, if you're going to get Player of the Year.
I appreciate just throwing your name in there, though. You know what? It's never too late. Just get people talking about it.
But he is. When I think of great defenders in the league right now, Draymond Green is definitely one of the first names to think of. I
think in conversation, he will always be in that. The Bucks on the other side of this thing, though, afterwards talked a whole bunch about their offense, their lack of it. It's been almost 2 years, by the way. And I get it. They've lost 2 in a row, but their schedule is what it is. Their standing is what it is. How are there still struggles on offense at this point in the game, Lou?
For me, I'm looking at the numbers. There's not enough attempts from your stars. You know, Giannis was 5 from 16 from the field. You got Dame Lillard, who's 6 from 18 from the field. Like, one or not even either one or both of these guys should have at least 20 attempts a game. You know, that's how you land on 93 points. Other than that, you had 6 guys in double figures. You had guys that played relatively well, but it's not enough. It's not enough of a scoring punch. So for me, when I'm looking at those numbers, that tells me that those guys got to be way more aggressive. They got to at least get 20 to 22 attempts a game a piece. And if it's not going to be a piece, it's got to be at least one of these guys. Somebody has to be the aggressive guy that's going to go out there, give you 20, 22 shots at a game. You know, Giannis had 20. Dame Lillard has 16. Not Dame's most efficient night. Like, that's where this story lies. And so they'll clean these things up. They'll be a more efficient basketball team. But for me, they got to get their attempts up. Got to get more shots.
And I think when you have a Giannis who demands so much attention, he gets guarded the way he guards, these other guys have to make shots, right? And I think when you look at this offense, it's all about spacing and how they can have, most of the time when Giannis on the floor, they have 4 shooters around him that are getting good looks. They're just simply not going down at a high clip. And so when you have Dame last night, you know, go 6 of 18, that's not going to help. When you have Giannis going 5 of 16, I agree with Lou. I think they need to be more aggressive. They need to instill their power and their will more. Giannis is 10 of 15 from the free throw line. Honestly, I'll take that from him. And as long as he's getting 15, 20 free throws a game, I think that's where it starts for him, just setting the tempo. But this comes on guys like, you know, wow. This comes to guys like Kuzma and Lopez and Trent.
Look at me.
Oh, I'm back.
Are you though?
I forgot what I was saying.
Good to see you, bud.
I forgot what I was saying. These guys got to make shots.
Derailed.
They got to make shots to score points.
Sure, that's okay. There you go. Basketball in a nutshell with Chandler.
Wow.
You know what? Let's move on then. How about
Please,
we do that?
God.
Steve Kerr talked a lot about how tired Steph Curry's been. But sorry. What's happening right now? Chandler just derailed.
I just shut down the whole system.
Show.
We're going to break.
Anyway, the show's over. No, Steph. He said it's not about the physical fatigue. It's about emotional and all that other stuff. But my question, Lou, is, you know, to us mere mortals, does one night off, one game off, is that enough to sort of reset the emotional side of things?
It's not enough, but it was good to see him get a break. You know, especially, listen, when you have a guy that, like Steph Curry, you've never heard him complain or make an excuse or anything for himself publicly, and he didn't even do it this time. His coach did it for him. You know, Steve Kerr is the person that started this conversation and said, Steph is tired, he's fatigued, and he gave him a night off. Now, we both bet that we thought it would probably be Thursday during the Raptors game is when he's going to get his break. Now, is it enough? Absolutely not. Nobody's going to be 100% going into the postseason, but having a post on your superstar and knowing that he needed a night, so why wait 3 days? Give it to him right away. Yeah, give it to him right away. So it makes a difference, and I'll be curious to see if they try to steal another night. You know, winning this basketball game, giving some of these other guys an opportunity to play some valuable minutes going into the postseason. Let's see if we can give them a break on another night. If we can steal 72 hours. Now that's a real reset.
All right, I'll put another 5 that it's getting.
There you go.
All right,
but that would be a real reset. 3 days at this time of year is valuable resting time for Steph Curry. So we'll see if that's the case on Thursday. But it's not enough, but it was a great start.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The fact that they won this game and they were so good and still played almost better defense than they do, obviously, with Steph Curry, this buys him more leeway, right? This gives him a 1 or 2, more nights off where they have other guys. And Steve Kerr, let's not forget, he's on record saying this is one of their deeper teams that he's ever had, if not the deepest. And now they did move some guys away for the Jimmy trade, but this team has enough without Steph Curry to win games. And they showed it last night against a good Milwaukee team.
There was another game last night. I don't want to draw conclusions here, but guys, this Cavs season might have just all been a dream. It's over. Here we go. Clippers last night here in Los Angeles. The Cavs lose their second straight game, 132-119. Kawhi and Harden had fun, combining for 55. There was no Ty Lue on the sidelines, Lou, because he didn't coach due to back pain. He's
had chronic back pains for a while.
It's got to be bad to have to do that. So how big of a win? Like, how is this the best win for them this season? It was
a great win, and what you're seeing here is a team that's in the 8th seed, that's a veteran team that is doing everything they could to not be in a play-in situation, and you also look at the other game that Golden State just lost as well. Well, that's another 8th seed. So you're looking at teams that's fighting to get down to the 6th seed where they don't have to fight for their postseason lives, opposed to a team that's been #1 all year. That by all accounts, that's probably still going to have the #1 seed coming out of the East. So 2 different scenarios, 2 different places in your seasons, and it shows in the effort. These guys in the Clippers uniforms, they know that it's time to roll, and we got to put ourselves in the best scenario possible going into this postseason run. You don't want to look the play-in down a barrel and fight for it and possibly lose a game, and now you're out, opposed to having the 6th seed where you can go a 7-game series and give yourself a real chance to compete in the playoffs. So you're looking at 2 different scenarios. I wouldn't overreact to this if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, but this is a bad time to kind of start reeling a little bit. Like, you want to have momentum going in, knowing that you're still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, but you don't want to go into it like this. But I wouldn't look too much into it.
I don't know, Lou. It just feels like it's over.
And I'll say games like this for the Clippers, when you go up against a team that's had such a great historic year, this is that gives you the confidence boost to know that you can play with anybody, you can beat anybody. You look at the stat sheet last night. Kawhi Leonard, he's back. He looks great. He looks healthy. He's getting to his spots. He looks like vintage Kawhi Leonard. Zubac, 28-20. He's having a career year. We kind of gave him his flowers a couple of weeks ago, just having an all-time, one of his best years of his career. He's been so consistent. He's available. They got Norman Powell back, who's arguably been their best, most consistent player all year long until he went down. And James Harden, he's just been there. He's been the same guy that he's always been, just getting everyone involved, getting a bucket when needed. And Bogdanovic, he's another guy, we didn't really talk about that trade deadline move. He's a guy who can come off the bench. He can absolutely shoot the ball, really efficient from outside, and he can go get you 20, 25 points off the bench. So this team did show something last night that it's a scary matchup. This is a scary matchup for a young Thunder team where they have to go through all these vet experienced guys in the first round, possibly the playoffs. That's not ideal.
That's actually, it's never too early to look ahead, but that's the interesting thing. If Kawhi and Harden are this, how much damage can this Clippers team really do come playoff time?
I think they can do a lot. I think, listen, if they stay healthy and they play like they did last night, where they're defending, they're getting production from their bench, they're getting out in transition, they're shooting a high clip from the 3, this team has a great balance, and they can do it all. And Zubac has been, like I said, he's been so important with his size, his versatility, the way he's defending pick and rolls. He has been so important for them all year long. And now you're starting to see Kawhi Leonard get his confidence, his legs back. Norman Powell, who missed time, he's back in the lineup. So this team kind of seems to be peaking at the right time. They've now won 4 straight, and they're fully healthy. I think obviously that's a huge piece in the season. And just watch these clips. Kawhi Leonard looks like he's doing things he was doing in San Antonio and Toronto. So this is going to be a dangerous team come playoff time.
That was weird body language on Cleveland's part. That was a little odd. All right. Maybe they've been in LA for a minute.
That happens.
They could have been tired. Maybe there was some fun.
Who knows? But it's never been about talent with the Clippers. Like, they've always had a talented team. It's always been about their health. Now they're starting to get their guys back, starting to have consecutive games where everybody is in the lineup. That's what makes this team dangerous. Everybody is available, and everybody is going to play at a high clip. You know what James Harden is going to do. You know what Kawhi Leonard is going to do. But the caveat to all of that is Norm Powell has been the guy that's been the go-to guy all season long. And so once you have all of these guys back in the lineup, you add Bogey to that as well. Zucci Mane is having a great year as well. Like, they have a lot of different pieces. Listen, I want to show some love to Chris Dunn as well.
Okay.
For somebody who's always been trying to find a home in his NBA career, this looks good on him with the Clippers. He's aggressive on the defensive end. He's knocking down shots. He's turned into a viable 3-and-D guy for the Clippers. They got a lot of great pieces. Like Chandler just said, they're peaking at the right time, but they got a great identity and they're moving forward.
It was Zucci Bane's birthday yesterday. Did you wish him a happy?
I did, yes.
Look at that.
Of course.
Lose the best. We got to take a quick break. On the other side, Joe Johnson joins us on Run It Back.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, the Mavs need to go and get him right now.
Run it up, run it back, yeah.
Ain't nothing ordinary. This shit was legendary. Legendary.
Slow-mo ISO
Pierce
Joe.
thing in there. That was rude. What's up, Joe?
Throw the
Joe
slow-mo
Johnson's
on
here.
there.
I know.
Those are fun.
Very rude.
What's
to
up?
him.
What's up? What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
They
this
have
morning?
like side questions that we're going to get to in a second that we just added. Nobody knows yet. So we will get to that real quick. But I want to ask you about the nickname ISO Joe. Did you like it the minute that started? Was there a time where you didn't love it and it grew on you? How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, it just kind of grew on me. I don't even remember when it, kind of started, but as my career kept going, people just kept calling me that, so I just kind of ran with it,
I can't imagine not liking it.
Yeah. Joe, what's up, my brother? How you?
Hey, what's up? Lemon Pepper Lou, what's up, baby?
Man, listen, I'm gonna get a little messy with you, man, because Jeff just put your business out there, and
What happened, man?
he was on his pod and he was talking about he looked at his first check and he thought it was a pretty good check. And then you showed him your check for 2 weeks, and it was a $2 million check, and you put everything in perspective for my boy Jeff, man. You remember that moment? You remember that?
Yeah, those were good times, man. Good times. Hey, they were good times, bro. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves here in Atlanta. Obviously, I'm still here, and I've been enjoying it since '05, bro.
That is such a moment.
Joe, we had Antoine Walker on this show earlier this week.
My guy.
Yeah, and you had played with him and Paul Pierce when you were 20 years old, and he was talking about how they basically partied every night, whether it was besides Utah and Indiana or something. What was it like for 20-year-old Joe Johnson playing with guys like him and Paul Pierce?
Man, it was inspirational, bro. I grew up watching Twan play because he played at Kentucky, and I'm an SEC guy, University of Arkansas. And he was one of those big dudes who loved to handle the ball. I think his best attribute was probably passing. And getting to play with, and he had a great feel for the game, and then getting a chance to play with Paul, who was still young in his career. He had just signed a max contract my rookie year for like $96 million, Paul Pierce did. I think it was like his 5th year in the league. So he was a different type of Paul Pierce. He was a young, arrogant Paul Pierce. You know what I mean?
Could you have survived playing more than one season with those guys, or it would have got dicey?
Nah, it was short-lived, bro. It was only 6 months into my rookie season. I got traded right after All-Star break, but that's one situation I think could have turned out pretty good. But once what I didn't understand as a rookie, man, once you develop a little value for yourself in this league, they kind of put you on the shelf so they could trade you. Because I went from starting and just riding the bench for like 10, 15 straight games, DNPs. You know what I mean? Then I got traded.
Yeah.
Like a shocking moment. Your rookie year, you got to play guard against Michael Jordan. What was that like?
It was surreal. A moment that, I still look back on to this day. An idol of mine growing up. And I remember when I was growing up, it was only a couple channels you could watch, and I think like WGN, the Bulls was on every night. So getting a chance to compete against him my rookie year, and it was on TNT. Like that was a memorable moment for me.
Joe, so your career really began to take off during your time in Phoenix, and in your last season there, you played with Steve Nash and you played for Mike D'Antoni, and obviously D'Antoni was kind of the trendsetter, the trailblazer of the way the game was played now, up and down, three-pointers. Yeah. What was it like playing for him and with the PG and Steve Nash?
Man, it was so much fun playing for D'Antoni. The floor was wide open, everybody could play make, and Nash just fit seamlessly with guys like Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Quentin Richardson, myself. He was so unselfish, bro. Nash was so unselfish, and he made everybody around us better. He knew at times, you know, Quentin Richardson led the league in three-point makes that year. I led the league in three-point percentage at 48%. Wow. And it was all due to Nash, man. It would be times, you know, we would come down and he'd be like, okay, Q ain't had one in a minute, or Joe ain't had one in a minute. He would make sure, you know, we would get shots. And it's just little stuff like that. I think that's how he ended up becoming a two-time MVP, because he could have scored 25 a night, but he settled for 16 points, 14 assists.
Isn't it crazy that year you shot 48% from three, and you look today's basketball, you see these dudes are shooting 15, 17 threes a game? Like, can you imagine if you got that many looks when you're shooting 50%?
Man, I couldn't imagine, bro. But I couldn't imagine. But it looks fun. It looks fun nowadays.
It does look fun.
I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching it. But I give Nash the credit, bro. And that year I shot 48 from the line, from the three-point line. He just made my job so much easier.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned all the guys you just mentioned, because that roster, when you look at it, is an insane roster. Do you ever think back and just wonder, like, why didn't we get a title? Like, that roster should have gotten a title.
We only had 1 year together. We had 1 year together, and then they broke us up. You know, obviously it was my contract year, so they didn't expect for us to be the #1 team in the league, and you know, I kind of drew my value up to the point to where they couldn't re-sign me. And then they traded Quentin Richardson before I even got out of there. So it was like, I don't really know. You know, the management had changed. That's when Robert Sarver had took over. So he really wasn't, I don't know if he just really wasn't feeling me and Q at the time.
And that was the season that Steve Nash won the MVP over Shaq. And then the next year, he won the MVP over Kobe. I want to get your opinion. Now that a lot of time has gone, you think he had both of them in the bag, or because the Shaq one was kind of controversial? Did Steve deserve both of those MVPs?
Man, he did. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. We had a stretch. We had a stretch where he missed like 8 to 10 games. We probably won 1 game, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's how.
That's impact.
That's how important he was to us. Because when we had him on the floor, it was like, you know, we was just blowing teams out left and right. But when he wasn't on the floor, it was like, why is the game so hard? You know what I mean?
Real floor general right there.
We just, like this year, we just had the shocking trade, the LUKA trade. Believe it or not, people that lived through that, there were other shocking trades that have happened before, one of them being KG and Pierce going to Brooklyn. Did you think when that trade happened and they came to Brooklyn, this is it, something special is about to happen?
Yeah, I honestly, I did. I thought we were going to be the team who could beat the Heat. You know, we was able to get Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry came over, and we started off rocking. I think we started off like 5-15, and we was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. It was embarrassing. You know, it was hard to even walk around New York. But we dealt with injuries that year with Darren Williams and Brooke Lopez getting hurt. You know, we was forced to kind of play a lot smaller and play KG at the 5. So, but for the most part, we made a good run at it. We made a good run.
At one point when you were out there, you called the team selfish. I mean, it's been long enough. We're all past it. Who were you talking about?
Man, what you talking about in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
When I call somebody selfish?
That's what the internet says. Maybe you didn't.
You can't believe everything you hear and see. You know what I mean? Listen. We had a great squad, man. We had a great squad. I think if it wasn't for injuries, maybe we could have beat the Heat. But the Heat was they was tough, man. They was tough.
Joe, anytime we have someone that played with KG on here, we have to ask him. What was the craziest, thing you ever seen him do or say in the locker room or on the court? I know I had my situations with him when it's on the free throw. The dude talked to himself like he would beat his chest. Scared the shit out of me when I was a young player, honestly. Playing with him, what's one of the more nuts things you saw him do?
Bro, I used to try to get to I used to try to be like one of the first ones in the gym, right? So I could never be the first one because he would always beat me. And by the time I get there, he already drenched in sweat telling a story. I'm like, dang, what is this dude doing today? Like, it's like he had a story every day. So when you see him and Paul Pierce interact the way they do, bro, that is him. He be on 10.
No, that's every day, Joe.
How does he have so many
we record our pods in the same building. Every once in a while, I'll pop in and chill with him. That is not an act.
Does he just remember everything?
He's intense all day, every day. That's just how he kicks it.
That's him, bro. And I love to see it. But yeah, that's him. He has a real passion, for the game. And you can tell by the way he talks, he starts sweating and everything. He be going crazy. He can't control himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I had never been so scared of someone talking to themselves. Like, he wasn't even talking trash to me, and I was like, is this dude okay?
Well, that's scarier than if he's talking to you.
But he's one of those dudes who you hate to play against, but you love him on your team, bro. You love him on your team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You played with D. Wade and Bosh. That was post-LeBron there. And everyone's already sort of appointed LUKA as LeBron's best teammate of all time. You've seen D. Wade up close and personally. Are we kind of forgetting how great D. Wade was as far as LeBron teammates in time?
Yeah, man, D. Wade was special. Even before LeBron, he was special. But with LeBron, he was even more special. I just think LeBron was so great that, I think people kind of took a down looking on D. Wade. But, I mean, we forget, man, he's top 3 two guards ever. Like nobody get D. Wade credit. I don't know why, man. He's a bad boy. I got a chance to see it up close in person, the Heat culture with D. Wade and UD and how those dudes led. Man, listen. Hey, he's special, bro.
Real deal. And in your longevity, man, you competed against a D. Wade. You competed and played against a LeBron. You also played against a Wizards MJ. Wizards MJ, Kobe, Bron, D. Wade. Out of all of those guys, looking back, who was the toughest person that you had to guard and play against? Because you went through the gauntlet. That's everybody. That's all of them.
I'm gonna have to probably give it to LeBron. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I played in playoff series against him. I didn't play in playoff series against those other dudes. And playing in the playoff series, Lou, Chandler, I mean, everything they gonna do. And you gotta try and stop it, bro. And he was special. Hey, he was special every night. I'm like, God, dog. So all of them were tough in their own rights, but, I played against LeBron in a couple playoff series, and he was special. I played in D. Wade in some playoff series. He was special as well. So, those guys who can shoot the ball whenever they want to, they the hardest to guard, bro.
Joe, I hate to do it, but I got to ask now, especially what you just said. You played against both. You played against both. Obviously, you didn't play against Prime MJ. You played against Wizards MJ. Me and Lou have our opinion. You've played against both. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
I'm MJ all day, bro.
Yeah, and Jordan Brand. You can't go against the logo.
Hey, look, I grew up watching Jumpman, MJ. I'm a huge fan, and I felt like he made the game sexy in some aspect, and I just enjoyed it from the time. I was probably about 7, 8 years old, bro, for real.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys that you played against. I want to know in your 18-year career, who was the best player you feel like you've played with?
The best guy I played with?
You got Nash, Pierce, KG, Wade, Bosh, Harden, CP3, Penny. I'm gonna probably go with Nash, man. It was just perfect timing for me. That was my 4th year in the NBA, so it took me kind of 3 years to kind of figure it out. And by the time I figured it out, now I'm playing with two-time MVP Steve Nash, which we didn't know it at the time, but I think me and him in the backcourt it fit so seamlessly. Like we had so much fun, bro. Lou, it's nothing like going into a game, Chandler. It's nothing like going into a game knowing that you're gonna win, bro. That's how I felt every time we stepped on the court.
Just so your last season in the NBA, you played with both James Harden and Chris Paul in Houston, who both have received their fair share of hate. Do you think James Harden is actually underappreciated at this point, especially from the season he's having this year? Or do you think he gets the flowers he deserves?
No, I definitely think he's underappreciated. He's done a lot for this Clippers team, who I think a lot of people had them out of the picture. But, you know, he's been there consistently the whole year, playing at an all-star caliber level. And, you know, when the playoffs come, he'll be able to, you know, he's going to probably win you a couple games in a series, if not win you the series. So I think his time to shine will come up in the playoffs. And I'm looking forward to that Clippers team making a run. I think they got Kawhi back, so as long as he stays healthy, man, they're a scary team to, you know, to see.
You're going to mess up some people's dreams. Joe, I always wonder if you guys look at these sort of times, these years, the same way we as fans do. So, for example, with Chris Paul and Harden, they only got the 2 seasons together. Do you look at that and think, man, if they could have stayed together longer, or did you know perhaps something was off and that wasn't going to last?
No, I didn't. I think it all plays back to, you know, CP's injury. If he don't get hurt, I mean, I was on that team. If CP don't get hurt, we up. We up 3-1, 3-2, something like that. If he don't get hurt, we get a chance to go to the finals, man. And, you know, you never know. So injuries play a huge part of the game, and those guys were special at those times.
Joe, this is a crazy stat that you played in 9 7-game series in your NBA career, which is bananas.
Stressful.
Yeah. Which one of those, does one of those stand out the most compared to the others?
Probably, I got a couple of them. I'll probably say playing here in Atlanta when we played against the Miami Heat in the Game 7. I can't remember. I think that was 2009. And we won that game. And the one in Brooklyn, playing against Toronto, in Toronto, Game 7. Toronto's crowd was crazy. That's probably the loudest I've ever heard an arena, you know, in the playoffs. And it was a very, very hostile environment, but it was so much fun to play in.
Man, another series was that 2018 one where the Rockets missed 37 of 44 threes. That was a crazy.
I wasn't trying to remember. I wasn't trying to remember that.
What?
That didn't come to mind.
By the way, that would just be like a normal game.
I was going to say today, that's nothing.
That's a good game today. That's good.
Yeah, I think I missed a couple to live too. You know what I mean?
But is that crazy? Like looking back at that, like what do you just remember? Like did we settle into? Like what do you even think when you see it? Because now I'm looking at now and I'm like, now teams like the Celtics shoot 63 the other night. That's nothing.
Man, it's crazy, man. I mean, they were great shots. I thought in that game 7, we had a lot of great looks that just didn't go down. Unfortunately, it was a Game 7, so, you know, it sticks out, you know, more than some other ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
Do it.
Hold on.
We're going to do it.
Let me set the table here.
Here we
Set
go.
the table. Go ahead.
Dallas Mavericks, they're about to forfeit games, by the way, if they don't get some players. If they give you 20 minutes tonight, how many are you getting?
To 20 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, man, I can at least get you 15. 15 to 17 for sure.
I don't want to tell you how many points Lou said you'd get, but you said you'd get 4.
I'll be honest. I said, look, Joe looked like he had a piece, man. He'd go out there and get 4 to 6 points, man. He looked like he had a piece right now, man.
Lou, in 20 minutes, yeah, I can get you 15 and 20. Yeah.
And in 20 minutes, you're taking 10 shots. You kidding me?
And you know what the next thing?
I'm gonna be efficient because I'm playing from here up. These young boys, they playing from the waist down. You know what I mean?
Hey, Joe, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because the very next thing I said, well, he still be kicking them young boys' ass in ATL in the summer, though. I said, he still be whooping him, though.
Hey, somebody got to tighten these young boys up around here, man. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Joe, before we let you go, man, it's our favorite time of year. We got March Madness going on. Your alma mater, Arkansas, they're 10 seed right now. Got Kansas tomorrow. What's your thoughts on it, man? How far can this team go?
Man, you know what? I think we're unpredictable, scrappy. We lost our point guard early in the season in Boogie Flynn. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I think he's, you know, kind of getting back on track, but I'm not sure if he's going to be 100%. And we lost some other key guys throughout the season, but we've been scrappy, bro. We've been scrappy. We've been fighting, so you never know. I look forward to those guys going in and, you know, coming out with a victory.
I'll tell you what, no teams are more prepared than SEC teams this year.
Here we go.
14 teams are in the dance, Joe.
Man.
So SEC will win a chip this year.
somewhere.
How long do you think it takes for Coach Cal to put a team together to really compete for a title? Because you know he got the star power.
How much Tyson chicken bread is he gonna get this summer?
he got some young studs coming in this summer. Some elite talent, obviously offensively, defensively. I think we've been great, you know, especially in the SEC, shot blocking, rebounding. So we got a lot of guys, man, who are very talented and, you know, can explode at any given game. So I'm looking forward to this tomorrow.
Joe, you know the yoga speaks to me. Have you gotten Lou to try any of it? Like, you guys are right there.
I ain't got him in there yet. I'm going to get him, though. I ain't got him yet.
I keep trying to get him to go to a class with me out here.
It's time, Joe. Everything hurt. It's time.
I'm telling
I know,
you.
bro. Hey, Lou, as we age, bro, we got to keep the joints and muscles lubricated, bro, so we don't have them little knickknacks. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's time, bro. My back is in bad shape.
When it happens, Joe, videos,
I got you. I'm reaching out.
Lou's going to be a yogi golfer before we're done.
Bro. We'll get you right.
Get him all zen.
Right.
Joe, this has been awesome. Hopefully we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Joe.
y'all.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
Joker don't win MVP, and you put those stats next to Shay's stats, everybody gonna be like, yo, what the hell? Like, there's no chance this guy didn't win MVP.
Right.
So 10 years from now, that's what we're going to be saying about Jokic not winning MVP.
10 years from now.
Same way we felt about Shaq and Kobe in the conversation that we just had.
Who won the MVP 10 years ago? I know it was Kevin Durant, by the way. But we're talking runner-up. Like, you're not going to talk about this from 10 years from now.
Good, man. Did you just think of that off the top of your head?
No
I
chance.
haven't.
He did.
Okay, there you go.
But my point is,
supposed to say yeah.
The Nash Kobe one,
man.
I do think if Kobe should have got that the one that Nash's second one.
And
So you
even
do kind of
the
have
Shaq one was controversial.
So there are certain scenarios where you will think, okay, this guy, but 10 years from now, I don't think. I think we'll just talk about the three Jokic already has. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be a situation where, like, he should have got this one, too.
Fair.
It's not like we're going to remember his stats from 10 years from now.
They're always going to be close races for MVP. It's the greatest basketball players in the world. It's not going to be one guy every year that stands out and no one else does. That's sort of the
For some reason, though, those Nash ones are the only, like, he shouldn't have got it, right? Like, when you think of another MVP where
It's racial.
Well, you said it.
Canadians also. It's like a double whammy. Monday night, I don't know. We didn't even talk about this because what is there to say? But the Pelicans lost to the Pistons by 46 points. That is so many. Afterwards, Willie Green said, "We look like a team that forgot how to play basketball."
Laid an egg.
Whew, how's that locker room doing over there in New Orleans?
It sounds bad, but this is said more often than you would know. Like when guys have bad nights, you will hear sometimes the guys say, man, somebody took my Space Jam basketball. You remember in Space Jam, they sucked all the talent out of everybody? You will literally hear guys say that. So on a 46-point loss, don't be mad with your coach because he said it, you did it. Like, which part is worse? You going out there and losing by 46 or Willie Green saying we look like a team that don't know how to play basketball for a night?
By the way, Zion had 30.
Everybody lays an egg during the season. Everybody has one of these games that puts you in a position to either grill these guys in a film session or we're gonna throw that one in the trash and get ready for the next one. And so this reads worse than what's actually being done. But you know, this is a coach that knows his team. And again, 46-point loss.
I can't get past 46.
What positives can you take out of
When I
that?
see a loss like this, I always picture the film the next day, like how proud.
Do you even watch this one?
Oh,
It's just dreadful
what
getting
is
to
it?
the film. You can't enjoy your dinner. You don't want to sleep.
You're
you don't
thinking
wanna,
about that.
It's
Well, God, that
dreadful.
one blow by, that one.
There's
chart,
so
you know what I
much
mean?
though at that. Like, what? How do you
But
focus?
honestly, when in a season like this, the truth hurts, and all these teams that are losing these games, coaches just want to see development, but then they also want to see effort. I feel like a season like this is just what guys do you see that play hard consistently, that aren't rattled by wins and losses, and obviously that continue to get better. But Willie Green just wants the guys there that compete, and when you lose by 46 points, I didn't watch this game. I'll be honest.
Oh wow, what is
They
it?
couldn't have played hard. They couldn't have competed because you shouldn't lose by 46 points.
46 points. You have to do math to get to that. Like, it's not an easy one. How about this one, LUKA? LUKA about his teammate Austin Reeves, and he's saying that the fact that he went undrafted is unbelievable, Chandler, and that's fair, but it happens, and how does it happen?
It is, and I think the draft sometimes is just off potential, right? It's just, let's take a flyer on a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid instead of trusting my eyes and what this kid's doing right now and how he can help me. AR he's not this fastest guy. He's not the most athletic guy. He's a transfer, so he was older by the time he even got his opportunity in the G League. And so guys like this, you can miss on because you didn't really see him turning into this, to be honest with you. Like,
Fair.
he didn't play like this good in college. Like, but a lot of times it's just based, I think the draft is solely on potential. It's guys that have a high upside and a ceiling, which teams didn't think Austin Reeves obviously had.
Undrafted. That's
crazy.
I mean, look, hindsight, obviously, but.
The draft is funny. Like, I was the SEC player of the year. I was drafted 38th. Like, what more could I have done? I literally won player of the year.
Just be better, really.
And so I got drafted second round, and the guys in front of me were mostly like freshmen, one and done guys that was taking a fly on that didn't last, versus the guy that was ready to help a team right away. So it's different. Obviously, I think you just get enamored by like potential and measurements part of the draft.
Well, he was undrafted, so now it's time to play third option. Is he the best third option, second best?
Didn't we already do this segment once and we said no? Now he's playing like
now
it.
it's time.
No, this is not a diss to Austin Reeves. He's not even the best third option in Los Angeles.
Whoa.
Would you take Austin Reeves or would you take Norman Powell?
I knew
right
Norman
now?
Powell was coming.
Close my case.
I don't
And that's
know.
that's not even like a real thing. A third option isn't a thing. That's not a thing.
But doesn't the third option also matter where you are the third option?
Third option for the team that he plays for.
Right.
But let's stop the best third option thing.
Good point, too, because Norman Powell was an all-star snub. Austin Reeves was an all-star snub.
It's not a real thing. So I don't want his fans upset about something that's not even real. So he's a great third option for the team that he's on and the way that he plays. He's a great basketball player, but it's not even a real thing.
That's how I mean, but that's how I interpret the question. Best third option where he is.
Like, I do think I would take Austin Reeves over Norman Powell, though. I think he does more.
Like this situation over Norman Powell.
I think he does more. He's more of a complete basketball player. Now, Norman Powell's having a great year.
Cut it out.
No, I'm not. I would take Austin Reeves over Norman Powell.
Cool.
I think he can do more. I think he can play point guard. He can put him off the ball. Norman Powell's having a great year today. I love him as a player, but
you just said he was an all-star snub.
He was. I'm just saying he was.
And you would take Austin Reeves over an all-star snub.
You know how I feel about all-star voting. It's ridiculous, and I don't think the best 24 players aren't the all.
No, don't move the goalposts.
No, I'm just saying the best 24 players aren't all-stars.
All-star voting. We are talking about a guy that's averaging upwards of 22 to 23 points a game.
He's having a great year.
Both guys are having great years, but if you had to pick one for your third option, you would.
Depends who my other two are.
No,
it does.
That's what I'm saying. Where they are, their situation is part of the question.
I think the Clippers would be better with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Austin Reeves. I think they'd win more games.
There it is. That's the statement.
That's fine. I'm gonna let him have it. That's fine.
Hey, okay.
All right, let's change that.
Lou, Theo Pinson.
You're a homer with the Clippers. You're a homer with the Clippers.
I'm always gonna ride for the Clippers, but let's be serious here. Both guys are super talented, and on their respective teams, their impacts are felt. But one-on-one, swapping those guys, I still feel like the Lakers will be in the position that they're in, if not better, with Norman Powell.
If not better.
And it shows what happened with Norman Powell out of the lineup for the Clippers. It shows you what his impact is.
Yeah, but when you interchange them and then say if not better, that's different.
So look how good Austin Reeves is without LeBron.
That's just a little disclaimer.
Look how good Austin Reeves is without LeBron. Dude's averaging like 30 plus with
You're just scared to get in trouble with his people.
No, I'm not scared. I'm
scared to get into this Austin Reeves fight again.
I'm not scared. I said he's going to average 15, 5, and 5, and I think he's killing this year. I think he's averaging 19, 6, and 5.
Killing it.
So he's having a great year.
Not dissing at all. But again, we're having a third option conversation in Los Angeles.
It's an argument. It's a debate.
It's a good argument.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'm here for it.
In Los Angeles alone, before we even start talking about
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
Any other
I will ask it again before the season's over. And maybe even in the playoffs.
Let's do it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
Lou, Theo Pinson said that Pat Riley made a worse trade than Nico Harrison when he traded away Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler was Heat culture. Lou, I think context is important here, but...
No.
Nope.
No. You can't say that. Like Nico Harrison shook the entire NBA. Shook the world with that trade, and you've seen the damage that it's done to the Dallas Mavericks. Now I won't blame everything on it because a lot of guys got injured, but energy is real. Kinetic energy is real. That started a
Well,
we're talking.
Is kinetic a huge word?
The yoga's coming in.
But
I like this for you. It's a new chapter.
But look what that started. Now, that hasn't happened in Miami now. They're not playing their best basketball, but it's not what Dallas isn't going through. So no, I'm not agreeing. It's
historic what Dallas is doing.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing on this.
Yeah, this is plain and simple. The Heat took the best offer they got for Jimmy Butler. The Mavs took the only offer they got from.
Because they didn't even go.
They didn't even shop it.
Also, Jimmy wanted to leave.
Jimmy Butler made it loud and clear that he wanted out. He wasn't going to resign there. He was only playing those games in Miami before the deadline, so he didn't get fined. This was the only leverage they had, was to take on this Wiggins, Kyle Anderson trade. The Mavs didn't even shop Luka. They didn't even. They took the first thing, did this in private, which is fine. You can respect it, you can disrespect whatever. But that is the biggest difference to me. That they probably could have gotten more from Luka.
Definitely
He got as most they possibly could.
That's a great point.
And also, you're not Heat culture anymore when you don't want to be part of the Heat. Like, it's over.
You don't want to be.
End of days. This one's interesting to me, Chandler. Jabari Parker pushed back on there's a narrative out there that his NBA career is a tragic story. And his answer was basically, I made millions, took care of my family. We do sometimes get a little caught up in what we've deemed to be a winning career, I suppose. I mean, made the NBA and crushed. Like what? Like
I love that so much, and it just shows like fans like, shut up. You have no idea what this dude went through. You have no idea his expectations for himself. And at the end of the day, he did make millions of dollars, and he took care of the people that helped him make that and reach his dream and play in the NBA. And have a pretty good career, by the way. So what are the expectations? Obviously, people thought at that high of a draft pick, how much hype he had coming out, that it would be longer and that it would be better. But at the end of the day, like, this dude reached his dream. He's still playing basketball for a living, and it's the best job in the world to be in the NBA.
I mean, the word tragic, we need to stop. There are real times to use it.
It's not tragic. This dude did what less than 1% of the world could ever even dream of doing. Like, it's not tragic.
Tragic. It's like UVA saying it was tragic they didn't make it. Stop. We got to take a quick break. A little more Run It Back on the other side. Why do I keep saying UVA instead of West Virginia?
Run it up, run it back.
FanDuel is giving you the power to take control of your bets. Introducing the Bet Back token, ultimate game changer, lets you bail on any bet that's not going your way by turning it into bonus bets. Simple. One of your bets is not heading in the right direction during the game, go to your bet section, tap the token, and get your stake back immediately in bonus bets just like that. Right now for the tourney, we're giving all customers a Bet Back token. Download the app to grab yours today, only on America's #1 sportsbook. I wish I could use my app. That'd be fun. Anywho, around the league we go. Denver here in Los Angeles.
You gonna tap the token?
Well, I would love to tap a token, but I can't because I'm in California. Get together. The Nuggets have won 2 of the 3 times they've played together. What do you have for tonight?
I think they're going to win a third. I think the Nuggets, they're playing well right now. They just beat the Cavs, who are the hottest team in the NBA. LeBron's out, so I like them on the road. I don't think.
Hold on, Jokic, Murray, Brown, all questionable.
Yeah, but they've been questionable for like 2 weeks. They always play. You know what I mean? Like it's.
No, not always. They play the other night.
LeBron is out. Luka's playing.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves is playing.
And there it is.
Give me the Nuggets. They're hot. They're a better team.
It was a weird way to get there, but.
Don't try and do this and flip Laker Nation on me.
Okay, so what do you have? I
got Denver money line. I don't even want to dilly-dally the points. Give me Denver minus 134.
Don't bully me online, Laker Nation. I got Lakers tonight.
Oh, you do?
I'm confident.
That's so weak.
I'm confident.
You just told me during the break the Nuggets are going to win by 20.
I'm confident.
That's true, he did, you guys. I heard it with my own ears.
He just said the Young's going to have a triple-double and they're going to win by 20.
It's going to be one of the most historic games.
Liza Minnelli.
I come in peace.
Get him on the Soch. That's it for Wednesday. Enjoy your evening, your afternoons. We will see you mañana.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah, yeah.